Hello दोस्तों, how are you all? I hope you guys are good. So दोस्तों, today topic is all about infrastructure provisioning. But before we get started, if you have not already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss any of my future videos. Now let's jump right into infrastructure provisioning. Infrastructure provisioning in Terraform refers to the process of creating and managing the necessary resources and services needed for your application or system to run. It allows you to define your infrastructure as code, meaning you can write configuration files that describe the desired state of your infrastructure, and Terraform takes care of creating and managing those resources. So that's the beauty of Terraform, right? So let's consider a real-time example to understand this concept better. Suppose you want to deploy a web application on cloud platform like Amazon Web Services, AWS. So the infrastructure for your application might include virtual machine, a load balancer, a database server, and a storage bucket. Get it? So with Terraform, you would write a configuration file, often called a Terraform script or a Terraform configuration, that describes the desired infrastructure in this file. You would define the AWS resources you need, their configuration, and any dependencies between them. For example, you could define a virtual machine is basically EC2 instance with a specific instance type, operating system, and networking system settings. So you could also specify a load balancer to distribute incoming traffic to your EC2 instance. Additionally, you might need to set up a database server using Amazon RDS, relational database server, right? And a storage bucket using Amazon S3, simple storage service, right? So once you have written the Terraform configuration file, you can use the Terraform command line tool to initialize your project, validate the configuration, and apply the changes. So Terraform will compare the desired state described in your configuration with the current state of the infrastructure and make the necessary changes to bring it in line with the desired state. Get it? When you run the Terraform apply command, it will create all the required resources at the cloud in the cloud platform, such as EC2 instance, load balancers, RDS instances, and S3 buckets based on the configuration you provided. So Terraform will also keep a track of the resources it manages, so you can easily update or delete them in the future. So the benefit of using Terraform for infrastructure provisioning is that it allows you to define and manage your infrastructure as a code. So this means you can version control your infrastructure configuration, collaborate with the other team member, and easily reproduce or modify your infrastructure in a consistent and repeatable manner. So in summary, infrastructure provisioning in Terraform is the process of defining the managing the resources needed for your application or systems to run using configuration files. Terraform takes care of creating and managing those resources based on the desired state described in the configuration, and providing a consistent and automated way to provision infrastructure. Get it? So here is basically types of infrastructure provisioning. First is declarative provisioning with Terraform configuration. So, declarative provisioning with Terraform configuration refers to the approach of defining the desired state of your infrastructure without specifying the exact steps or command to achieve that state. Instead of defining how to provision resources, you focus on what resources you want and their desired configuration. Let's consider a real-time example to understand the concept better. Suppose you want to deploy a web application on a cloud platform using Terraform. So your infrastructure might include a virtual machine, a load balancer, and a database. So in a declarative approach with Terraform, you would create a configuration file that describes the desired state of your infrastructure, for instance, and you would define that you want one virtual machine with a specific instance type, operating system, and networking setting. So you would also specify that you want a load balancer that directs traffic to the virtual machine. Additionally, you would define a database with specific settings such as the engine type, storage capacity, and access credentials. Get it? So here's a simplified example of a Terraform configuration files in declarative style. So first I explain this, right? So first I explain this block, right? Define the virtual machine. So first I explain this block, then second, right? So here is resource type. So resource types is AWS instance, resource name is web server, and configuration is basically this is your configuration. So AMI, so basically the Amazon machine image, AMI ID to use the virtual machine, and instance type, the type of the virtual machine in this case is T2 micro, and subnet ID, basically the ID of the subnet in which to launch the virtual machine, right? And second block is define the load balancer. So dosto I'm explaining this block, right? So basically load balancer, right? So here resource type is AWS LB, it means load balancer, and resource name is load balancer, configuration is this, right? So basically name is the name of the load balancer, right? And load balancer type is application. So basically the type of a load balancer is specified as applications, and a list of subnet IDs in which to deploy the load balancer. Get it? So third one and last one is database. So basically resource type is AWS DB instance, it means database instance, and resource name is database, right? And configuration is basically this. So in first is right here engine. So database, the database engine to use in the case MySQL, and instance class, the database instance type DB2 micro, and allocated storage, this means basically the amount of storage allocated to the database in gigabytes, right? And username is admin, right? So here the username is admin, right? It means the username for accessing the database, right? And password, the password for accessing the database, right? So password is password. So dosto, once you have written the Terraform configuration file, you can use the Terraform command line tool to initialize your project, validate the configuration, and apply the changes. When you run the Terraform apply command, Terraform will read the configuration and compare it to the current state of the infrastructure. So Terraform will automatically determine what action are needed to reach the desired state. It will create, update, or delete resources as necessary, ensuring that the infrastructure matches the configuration. So in our example, Terraform will provision the virtual machine, load balancer, and database with the specified configuration. So the benefit of declarative provisioning is that you don't need to worry about the specific steps or command to provision resources. So Terraform takes care of figuring out the necessary actions based on the desired state and handles the provisioning process for you. So in summary, declarative provisioning with Terraform configuration allows you to define the desired state of your infrastructure without specifying the exact provisioning steps, and Terraform automatically determines the actions needed to achieve that state and provisions the resources accordingly. And this approach simplifies infrastructure management and ensures consistency and repeatability, right? So there are two topics, right? Defining and using Terraform modules, and best practice for organizing and structuring Terraform code. So basically these topics I'll cover in my next video. So thank you all for watching the video. To quickly recap, we discussed in this video is declarative provisioning with Terraform configuration and infrastructure provisioning, right? So hopefully you find the information useful and learn something new. And if you have any questions or would like to share your thoughts, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care and have a fantastic day.